Hey guys, today I'm going to do a coaster fight. This is between Apollo Chariot and Mako. These are two B&M Hyper Coasters at the SeaWorld parks. Apollo Chariot is at Busch Gardens Williamsburg and Mako is at SeaWorld Orlando. And they're both at SeaWorld parks, so I feel like it was a good idea to compare these two coasters against each other. So, without further ado, let's get started. Our first category is height. Apollo's Chariot stands at a height of 170 feet. However, it's getting a 3 though. I'm not comparing it with the drop height. The drop height is actually bigger than the actual height. The drop height is about 210 feet. So, but Apollo Chariot still getting 3. Mako is 200 feet tall exactly, so it's barely a hypercoaster. So I'm giving it a 4. Compared to 456 feet, these coasters aren't really as tall as like King to Ka, for example. Next up is drop. Apollo's Chariot is getting a 9. Apollo's Chariot's drop is fantastic. I love how you dive 210 feet to a subterranean area. That is like probably the most memorable part of Apollo's Chariot. Like, that is my favorite part of the ride. Mako has still... Oh my gosh, Mako! This drop is incredible. If you're in the back row, it will just whip you through the drop. You'll get some serious airtime. I'll explain how good the airtime is later in the airtime category, or the elements category, but Mako's drop is so incredible. It's easily getting a 10. It's even better because it's over water, so that's much better. Next up is speed, and both these coasters go 73 miles per hour, so they're both getting a 6 for the speed category. Next up is smoothness, and both these rides are very smooth. Apollo's Chariot's getting an 8. Apollo's Chariot, when I rode it in April of 2016, I noticed there to be a rattle. I mean, it's understandable why it has a rattle compared to Mako. Apollo's Chariot is an older coaster. It opened in 1999. Mako opened in 2016. However, Mako, this is being filmed in 2018. As of right now, Mako is still glossy smooth. Probably the smoothest coaster I've ever ridden in my life. It's easily getting a 10. Like, B&M's known for making smooth rides, but oh my gosh. Mako is the definition of a smooth coaster. Let's talk about elements next. And this is like about the airtime and stuff. Apollo's Chariot's getting an 8. The airtime is pretty good on Apollo's Chariot. However, I noticed the first couple of airtime moments to be a little sluggish. Probably simply because they're more floater. But I mean, at the end, you do get some pretty good ejector. So I'm giving Apollo's Chariot an 8. One of the most memorable moments I remember on Apollo's Chariot, at the end of the ride, like, I didn't know there was another airtime hill. It just caught me off guard. Like, that was a memorable moment for me riding Apollo's Chariot for the first time. Mako is getting... Oh my gosh, Mako's easily getting a 10. Mako has probably some of the best airtime I have ever experienced in a single ride. The airtime... Oh my gosh, it's a mixture between floater and ejector, and the airtime on Mako is insane. I mean, one of the airtime hills is trimmed, so that kind of sucks. I mean, some days it's actually not that bad. But I know one of the best airtime hills is actually like the speed hill. It's really cool. So, and plus the drop even has airtime. So, Mako is getting a 10 for airtime. Apollo's Chariot's getting an 8. They're both really good scores for this category. Next up is intensity, and neither coaster is really that intense. Apollo's Chariot's getting a bit of a higher score. It's getting an 8 because of the helix section it has, but these rides are really not that intense. Mako's getting a 7. But these rides are really that intense. They're not really known for intensity. You might get a little intensity during the drop, like at the bottom of the drops, but these rides are nothing. Next up, we have duration, and Apollo's Chariot's about like 2 minutes something. So Apollo's Chariot's getting a 7. Mako, there's no duration for it, but my guess is about around the 2-minute range. So Mako's getting a 6 for this category. Next up is theming, and Apollo's Chariot's themed to, I don't know, Apollo riding his chariot. I'm not sure. It doesn't really have a theme to it. I mean, you might see a little bit of flags, like, inside the station, but it's getting a 2, so that's basically the only theme there is at Apollo's Chariot. Mako's getting a 7. Mako's theming is really well done. However, my only problem with Mako's theming is that, like, when you're in, like, the station and stuff, you can see the backlot of, the backlot of SeaWorld. Like, you can see Kraken and all that stuff, which... that kind of takes away from the theming a little bit. I will say it kind of sucks. I think they could have done it a little bit better. But the theming out, like in the plaza, the entrance area is incredible. And one of the interesting things is, like, Mako even has a soundtrack going up the lift hill, which I think the soundtrack, I love the soundtrack going up the lift hill. Even there's like a little shark in the front of the train. It's like what you see with the Stingray in front of Manta, or in front of Manta's train. But yeah, and also what I love is that even some of the supports are themed. Like there's like a ship. The ride has shipwreck theming, but one of the supports is actually has like a ship on it, which I think is pretty cool. It gives that like aqua feel to it if you're like inside the ocean or something. It's really neat. Next up is restraints, and you can never go wrong with B&M Hyper clamshells. These restraints are incredible. I'm giving both a 10. These are some of the most comfortable restraints I've ever experienced in a single ride. Now, one of the interesting things to note is Mako's restraints are actually smaller than a polished Chariot's restraints or any of the other B&M Hyper restraints, which I think is a little odd. But it doesn't take away from the restraints at all. These restraints are so comfortable. Our final category is setting. A polished Chariot's getting a 9. A polished Chariot easily would get a 10 if it weren't next to a parking lot. The only downside is that, it's next to a parking lot, which kind of ruins it a little bit. But, I mean, but other than that, it's super nice. I love the subterranean areas of the ride stuff. The setting is just neat with the polished Chariot. And Mako's setting, oh my gosh, this ride, Mako, has probably one of the best settings I have ever seen for a roller coaster. Half of the ride, you are literally over water. Just right there. 10 out of 10 right there. That just makes the ride so much better. Mako probably has one of the best settings ever for a roller coaster. So, Mako easily gets a 10 for setting. And that is going to end this coaster fight. So, without further ado, let me announce the winner. And the winner of this coaster fight is Mako at SeaWorld Orlando. Congratulations, you have defeated Apollo's Chariot. Both these rides are incredible. I love both these roller coasters. And I've ridden 4 of these B&M Hypers. And all of the B&M Hypers I have ridden, Mako is still my favorite. There's just something about Mako that I just love. Whether it's from the airtime, to the drop, to the fact it's over water, to the theming. There's just so much I love about Mako. And the whole ride is incredible. And Apollo Chariot just doesn't do those stuff as well as Mako does. Mako is just kind of that underrated hypercoaster. Some people think this is one of the weaker hypercoasters, but I think this is the best one I've ridden so far. And that will do it for this coaster fight. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to go on the playlist for more coaster fights. And I'll catch y'all next time. Have a theme-tacular day.